Hey parents, welcome back. Had some technical difficulties, but it's not going to stop me. Trust me. Please forgive me. Come on in back to this live. So here's the thing, too, right? We're about to just jump right into it, but I want to share this. It's interesting that this one wouldn't start because I had an appointment earlier that I waited an hour for before I was seen. And then when I was seen, I still was told I had another another person was in front of me. And I was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen because I have a 12:30 appointment. And they were like, well, we can reschedule you for 2:45 today. And I'm like, yeah, because I want to get here. This is our last class. This is our last workshop, right? These are so what we've been talking about for the past 5 weeks are the top tools that I believe if your child is struggling academically, you as a parent, you must need to know. Like you must know. You must apply these if you want your child to achieve academic success this 26-27 school year. I believe if you apply these tools, you are going to see improvement. Okay. Now, if you have missed part one, two, three, and four, go back and check them out, right? They're literally um, in the problems playlist, right? So you can't miss it. This will make number five. And so let's jump into it, okay? Grab your books. Remember, this is a book workshop, so you really need your book. And I want you to have your book so that you can follow along with me, okay? If you're tuning in for the very first time, you should get a book as well. This is my copy that I use, but you can go on Amazon or you can look in my description here on YouTube and you can purchase yours and it'll be sent to you directly, okay? And so, it's if your child is struggling academically, I think that one book is necessary and it's the Bible that's going to help you. Two, get this one too. All right. Love you much. So let's get into it. Go to page 20. No, go to page 24 in your books. Go to page 24 in your books. And if I haven't stated it clearly, maybe I did on the other live that got disconnected. Excuse me. That got disconnected. Um, So this must be like a really, really good one, right? This might be really one of the best ones that we're gonna have because best workshops because of how many like challenges that came. So I'm really excited about this. So I want to make sure that you know what this class is about and who it's for. So this class is for grades K through 5 parents who feel like they've been guessing, right? They've been guessing to figure out what their child's real academic challenge is. Okay. And one of the things that I noticed about parents who really aren't sure what's going on with their child academically and they think it's this and they think it's that, right? Maybe family members have stated their opinions and maybe they weren't too nice. Maybe they made you mad and wanted to come out your bag on them. Like, I can understand, right? But one of the emotional, states that I know it can cause parents to really be in is that they don't know what to do, right? So they start to almost do anything and everything because they love their child and they want to make sure that they support them, right? And so they they don't want their child to have like this challenge, but they want resolve. And so I want to make sure I give you an answer. So you're gonna get the answer up front, right? What's the resolve? If you're guessing and trying to figure it out, my encouragement is that you follow along, right? In chapter 24 in our book. And the answer is there. Chapter 6, understanding your child's learning style. Excuse me. Let me slow down. Understanding your child's learning challenge, okay? Understanding your child's learning challenge. I believe that is the answer for you to understand what your child's learning challenge is. So if you're guessing, I want you to get that clarity, right? I talked about this as I posted. I want you to like get real clarity, like identify what's really going on with them, not guessing. Okay. Now, here's the thing. When parents are guessing, it comes with major risk. And I talk about it in the book. If you go down one, two, three. you'll be able to follow along with me. So three paragraphs down, the third paragraph, and it starts with if you don't take the time to understand your child's challenge. So it's the third paragraph. Here's some of the risks, right? Number one, you'll end up asking, and this can cost your child a lot. You'll end up asking teachers and staff for the wrong tool, right? Think of it like this. If your child is struggling in math, right, and you get a math tutor, without being clear on what your child's real challenge is, you can end up paying hundreds, thousands of dollars for a tool, a tutor, when in 6 months to a year and next year, you'll find out that your child is going to need that tutor again because they still haven't resolved the problem. Okay. And so that's what I want you to consider, right? Even to this next point, we could use that same example, right? You will, maybe you'll overlook resources outside of your child's school, right? So maybe you are asking your child's teachers and staff, right, for tools, and they're giving you some things, but it's not helping you get down to the original problem, right? So sometimes you have to go to outside resources. But if you refuse to get down to what the real problem is, you won't know that it's an outside resource that's going to help. Let's look at it like this. Let's say you've been thinking that your child may need to be tested. You're kind of like thinking your sister, right, has probably said something to you, maybe to you or to your child's other parent, maybe your spouse, right? Like, maybe y'all should get that child tested because something seems wrong with him or her. And you are kind of considering it, right? Maybe you mentioned it, right, to maybe a professional at your child's school. But if they don't have those resources, number one, they have a certain amount of time that they have to get back to you if you mention it. But if they don't have those type of resources, right, and you're guessing, right, you might not know that there's other resources that can actually help you, maybe through insurance, right? Maybe you can get your child tested at another facility, right? But if you are guessing and you're not getting clarity, you're not going to get answers, right? So whether that's if you're talking to the wrong people, right, or you're not doing anything at all. So I wanted to mention that to you. You can overlook resources outside of your school. You even have me, right? This is a perfect opportunity, right? You could ask me. If you don't say anything and you continue to guess, you might not know what the real challenge is. And I want to leave you with this, right? You miss the chance to talk openly with your child about what's going on when you're guessing. Let's move me to the side. Let's move teachers and staff to the side. Maybe asking the one with the problem what the real challenge is. That might get you the answer. And it may sound like, a great idea, but there are so many times parents don't do this because parents often feel like, they should know the answer. Or they don't want to have this tough conversation with their child because they don't want their child to feel bad about what's going on with them. But honestly, parents don't want to feel bad about this experience that their child is having because you're a parent, right? Like every good parent wants the best for their child. And so this is why I wanted to present like what's the major cost here when you're guessing, right? You could end up asking for the wrong tools, right? You're not even getting the right tools. You're inside the school when you could be outside the school, or you outside the school asking everybody when you should be inside the school. And then lastly, right, the cost of guessing is that you're missing out on getting answers from the one who could probably give you the best answer, which is the one with the problem, and that's your child. And so I wanted to make sure that we talked about that today. And so instead of guessing, right, I'm asking you to get real clarity, like identify what your child's real challenge is, okay? Really understand their challenge. Now, how do you do that, right? You might be like, okay, I want to, but how do I make sure that I'm not talking to the wrong people, that I'm not using the wrong resources, right? That I'm not avoiding having a conversation with my child. Number one, right? I want you to get the facts. I want you to get the right information. If you have the book, go to page 26 for me. I want you to get the facts, right? If your child is being labeled with having a learning challenge, you need that right information. Okay? I list questions here of how you get that information. This is how you get the facts. Okay? Here's one for example. What challenge did you notice in your child that we talked about in chapter 2? Do you remember the week where we were talking about getting to know your child? Was that last week? Nope, it wasn't last week. So it was uh, 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 the week before that. We talked about it, right? And I believe that title was I don't understand how my child learns. It should be something like that. We talked about getting deeper into that challenge, right? So ask yourself, what learning challenges have you noticed? You don't have to have all the answers, parents. Just tell me what you noticed. Have you seen that maybe when you ask them a question about what they learn in class every day, they can never tell you what they learn, right? That's something to jot down. That's something to jot down because either A, they don't remember, or B, they didn't go to school that day. So that's something to jot down. And I'm sure your child went to school if you sent them. So that's something that I really want you to pay attention to. But it doesn't have to be anything deep or profound. You know, when you ask them questions and you're like, what you learned in school today? And they can't tell you, it's irritating, right? It's like I sent you to school and you can't even tell me what you did. That's a problem. But it doesn't have to, and if you've seen a pattern of it, right? That's something that you can jot down. It doesn't have to be anything like that you've never seen before that you don't know how to articulate. Write down just what you've seen, not what I've seen, not what your teacher's seen, not what nobody else said. What have you noticed? What have you noticed? So that's an example. Then I want you to make sure that you are reaching out to your child's school. That's very important, right? I want you to reach out to me, right? But I am still going to direct you to your child's school because I want to hear from them in order to help you. Like anybody who works with me closely, grades K through 5 parent, like at some point, I'm gonna want to hear from your child's school, not necessarily like on the phone with them, but from you, like what have they been saying, right? So that's why I think it's really important to ask for tools at your child's school because depending on what it is, they are legally like bound to help you. Okay. And so here's the example. Um of reaching like for an example, I want you to make sure that you ask them when will you reach out to them? I kind of talk about that in those questions. Like, this is going to help you identify what your child's learning challenge is, the real challenge. When are you going to reach out? I'm holding you accountable there. Like, when are you going to do it? I'm not saying you have to stop and do it right now, but school is over for many. School is going to start, excuse me, but most soon. When are you going to reach out to them? When are you going to reach out so that you can make sure your child's having like the best school year ever? And then I want you to make sure that you are utilizing your outside resources. Support doesn't just stop at school. Why not have a full team? Like, why not have a full team? Right? I'm not saying anybody who's going against each other. No competition. Outside resources can help your child improve as well. Like many of you think about tutoring. Like that's an outside resource if it's not your child's teacher. And even if it's your child's teacher, I'm sure she's not tutoring them in school hours. What use your outside resource, right? What outside resources could help your child? Consider that, and I give you a list of questions there. And then, lastly, I think this is the most important thing. In order to understand your child's learning style, excuse me, I keep saying learning style, your child's learning challenge is I encourage you to communicate with your child. Like I need you to communicate with your child about what their experience has been because I'm sure they will be able to give you the answer better than anybody else. Okay. They will be able to give you some type of clarity, even if they can't like articulate, right? Like, maybe I struggle with comprehension. Excuse me. Maybe they could tell you, like, It's just hard for me to focus, or maybe it's hard to pronounce out the words, or I don't know the words, right? That can get you some type of leverage, okay? And so I asked this question: where should you have this conversation when you're doing it? Like, I'm not saying come home from work, they've had a long day at school, right? Or you've had a long day at work, and then you just be like, we need to talk. No, maybe out of all of their siblings, you're like, hey, come ride with me. And you take them, getting excited, you take them. That's the coaching. That's the coaching coming out of me. You take them to go get some ice cream. You're like, hey, I want to kind of talk, right? I'm gonna bring your siblings back some ice cream, but I want you to meet ours here. Like, what do you think is going on? Right. So where are you going to have that conversation? You might not need to have that like full table with everybody. Maybe you do. Maybe you, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa need to get together and just like, hey, we want to support you. Like, what do you think is the hardest thing? Just ask them like one question. You don't have to like drill them. What's going on with you at school? Like, what do you think is the challenge? They might say they don't know. But I think if you set it up the right place, the right time, and you listen, you will be able to get it out of them. Okay. So that's it. That's the class. That's our workshop. Sorry, that's our workshop. Please go back, look at your workbook, and answer those questions. I'm not saying you need to answer more today, but choose like one a day for one a day until you get them all done. And then by midsummer, you should have a very clear plan of how to identify what your child's learning challenge is. You can go back to school telling teachers and staff like what it do, like what's going on. And if you need any help, if you want me to help you, like get clarity on understanding your child's learning challenge, let me know, right? Comment or email me directly because summer's coming, baby. And I've taught 5 classes already. And so we're going to be on a break. Okay. You heard it first. We're on a break. Email me directly, right? And you can literally put in the subject, learning challenge, right? And I'll respond back to you. That way we can set up a time where you and I can just talk. I have time tomorrow. Tomorrow is officially going to be my last official day for the summer where I'm opening up like my full schedule for parents. But we have time, right? Tomorrow or whenever you see this tomorrow or 10 years, just email me directly at the student success coach. I'll put it here. The student success school, child. It's summer. The student, the student success school at gmail.com. And I will be sure to reach back out to you and help you. Because I want to make sure you really have, excuse me, I want to make sure you really have what you need to support your child academically. All right. I love you all so much. Thank you for bearing with me. With my connection was so bad, but we got through it. I love you all much. And remember, email me learning challenge if you need some support. Love you all much. See you soon. Happy summer. And I look forward to all the success that your child is going to have now and back to school.